Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Canelo signs a 3-fight deal with PBC. We're going to look at the report and then we're going to discuss this in greater detail. So this story was broke by ESPN, Mike Carpenter. It states Canelo Alvarez announced a done deal for September along with the PBC logo. Alvarez is set to defend his undisputed super middleweight championship versus Jermall Charlo, likely on September 16th. Sources tell ESPN it's a 3-fight deal for Canelo with PBC, per sources, a coup for Al Heyman and landing boxing's top star. Other 2 fights expected to take place in May and September 2024. Story coming to ESPN. So be on the lookout for a more in-depth story. But the announcement is official. And after that, social media went crazy. People went crazy. There were a lot of talks about Canelo, who was going to fight. People were saying this. People were saying that. Canelo signs with PBC, home of David Benavidez, Jermell Charlo, David Morrell, and a bunch of 168-pounders. I turn it over to you, Trill Dollar Bill. What is your reaction to that announcement?
Listen, all right. I want to say shout out to all the people in the comments section, right? Who, if they agreed or they disagreed, they came with some type of class and respect, you know, even if they disagreed with what I had to say, you know, they came with respect, you know what I'm saying? And I had to respect them, you know, and I respect your opinions. But I will have to stand on what I've been standing on. Canelo has never showed us that he's some duck. His resume will show us something otherwise. You know, I always say this, you know, when I seen Canelo try to challenge himself with the Bivol fight, he wanted to run that back, but Bivol wanted to do the 168-pound thing. Canelo, he already did that. He's trying to go get something else, you know? He's trying to go and was trying to be great and get another belt somewhere else. Bivol didn't want to do it, so we'll go right back to where, you know, where the fighters are and the money is, you know what I'm saying? 168, right? So we're going to go to PBC, and that's where they got the fighters at. He ain't duck and stayed at the zone and try to make some make-believe fight happen with somebody that didn't deserve it, or stick there with the zone and force him to fight a young Bellinger or somebody like that, or go somewhere else. Yeah, or Mongia or something like that. No, he went to where the competition is. You know what I'm saying? He did business with them before, and he's going to do business with them again. And that's PBC, because they could put on the fights and give him the money that he wants or he feels that he deserves. Canelo is not a duck. We already know what's going to happen. He's going to go in there with Charlo, then probably go in there with somebody else, and then we're going to get the Benavidez fight. Or it can go Charlo, then Benavidez, and then somebody else after that, you know? It all depends, you know what I'm saying? But he's signing the 3-fight deal. We all know what Canelo's doing. He wants to make the big fights. He wants the most money. And he wants legacy fights. You know what I'm saying? My man is not ducking anybody. I can't stand when somebody, right, like, I get it. When you're at top, when you're number one, it happened to Floyd, it happened to LeBron, it happened to Kobe, Michael Jordan, it happens to all of them. When you're number one, everybody's got to come out. Somebody got to hate you for something. No matter what, they're going to make up something. They'll make up something to hate you for. You know, they're like, oh, look at his resume. Yeah, he got all these resumes, but that don't count. What did he do last week? You know? you can't please.
Let's start looking at the one thing you don't have.
Exactly. Yeah, that doesn't, and it says, and if I can appreciate what a fighter does, right, they'd be like, oh, Trill, you're a fanboy, because I can appreciate somebody, resume, or I can appreciate somebody's fight record or what they have done in the sport. They'll call you a fanboy. But what do they call you when you don't acknowledge the things that people do in this sport? The great things that people do. What do you do when you belittle these things and you don't acknowledge these things? What are you called? Because I'm not a fanboy of no fighter. I'm a fan of boxing. But I appreciate certain fighters for the things that they have done in the ring. Even if I don't like them outside of the ring, I appreciate what they do in the ring. All the time I talk about this. I talk about Floyd. Everybody know I think Floyd one of the greatest boxers to ever put on a pair of gloves, right? But I also say that there's no way with how I am as a person that me and Floyd could ever be friends outside the ring. You know what I'm saying? It just wouldn't happen, But I appreciate him inside the ring. I think Floyd is one of the best boxers, the greatest boxers I've ever seen. I don't mean I have to agree with everything he does, but as far as in that ring, I have no problems. Same with Canelo. Look, I just don't want to. I want to hear what the people are going to say now. If he was a duck, what is he now? Because he's signing up on the same side of the street where all the so-called killers and monsters are. And we know he ain't running from no smoke. Canelo has never ran from no smoke. He's never gave you that. But people always like I don't get it. Then when somebody is saying nothing but facts, right? Somebody says nothing but facts and what this person has accomplished. I seen it. I seen how y'all went at my bro Caden. Bro didn't do nothing but state facts. He didn't give his personal opinion. If anything, that's one thing that Caden doesn't like to do. He doesn't like to be personal. He doesn't like to be personal on here. He just like to stick to the facts. Me, on the other hand, everything I say is personal. Right? But y'all can't take hard facts because of somebody you dislike. Maybe because of color, race, creed, or whatever. Some insecurity you feel about yourself. Y'all don't want to give this man no props. What are you going to do now? Is it one of these things that you suck as a person and you just want to see him lose? Has nothing to do with the sport or anything. You just want to see him lose. What does that say about you? That's all. I'm not here to judge. I don't care about nothing. Y'all call this man a ducker, and he's just proved his resume has shown otherwise. When are y'all just going to give the man some respect and say he did something? Instead of just hate. Yes, Canelo's not white. No, Canelo's not black. No, he's not Puerto Rican. No, he's not from Argentina. He's not Japan. He's not from Philippines and nothing. He's a Mexican. And he's probably not going against the Mexican that you want to fight. But it just seems like everybody just want to see him lose. That's it. There's no grounds behind anything. They just want to see him lose. And I just think it's whack. But that's how I feel. Shout out to Canelo. Like G would say, feet in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because it's on. It's on. And I wonder what they're going to say now.
And once again, it's on. All right, G.
Once again, it's on.
Yeah.
What are they going to say next?
This is good, man. I like the fact that Canelo signed a 3-fight deal with PBC, because I would love to see him against Charlo and Benavidez, you know what I mean? And I don't know who the third guy going to be. Hopefully it's Boo Boo, but, whoever it is, regardless, he signed a deal that people want to see. And I definitely want to see these fights, especially the Benavidez fight. So salute to Canelo, man, for feeding the streets, man, giving us what we want to see.
All right, TBE.
Nah, this is dope. This is great for boxing, you know. Canelo is the one who knocks. Canelo, if he wants it, he gonna get it. Canelo, if you got your hand out, he's slapping it away because he don't give out handouts. You feel me? Canelo is the guy, yo. Heavy is the face of boxing. You hear me? Heavy is the face of boxing. Because when you the face of boxing, all you gotta do is take on the best of the best. But every now and then, people can seem to not give you recognition, G. And this is dope. I love it, yo. Canelo, you move how you want to move. You control your fate and destiny in the sport of boxing. You control your legacy. And I like how you handle yourself when you move through boxing. You are a role model for those. Like, if you're a young kid watching boxing and you need a fighter to look up to, it's Canelo, because he shows you how you control and dictate your career. You don't let people tell you who you need to fight, when you need to fight, what company you need to be with. You can go PBC, Top Rank, The Zone, the whatever, you know, what's the other one called? And that's I'm losing their name, whatever. But Canelo is that guy. I respect him for it. I love what he does for the sport. He does so much, and you know, people still try to like downplay him. And when this fight happens, when everything's signed, sealed, and delivered, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready. I'm gonna be chilling, watch it, and I'm gonna be rooting for that man Canelo, because you know it is what it is.
Yo, so again, I'm just kind of on this. It's no surprise to me. Like, people can build up Benavidez, but the reality is, like I said, Benavidez has one key victory. His key victory is Caleb Plant. Canelo beat Caleb Plant. He beat Caleb Plant when he was undefeated, and he beat Caleb Plant to become undisputed, right? Everyone's acting like Canelo was running from Benavidez, but he was running from Benavidez to try to get a rematch with Dimitri Bivol. And all of you who feel like Dimitri Bivol is some great fighter, why does he want to change the terms? He agreed to fight Canelo. He agreed to give Canelo a rematch. Now, I don't want to hear people say, oh, well, Canelo threw it all away when he took the Triple G fight. That's not true. Y'all want to make it that way. Bivol wanted to change the terms immediately after he won the fight. You heard him. As soon as he got on the mic, he said, I'll give him a rematch. But if we do the rematch, it has to be on my terms. And I want to go down to 168. Y'all keep talking about value. What is Bivol's value to Canelo fighting at 168? Beating him at 168 doesn't give him another title in a different weight division. That was the only reason he fought Bivol. Remember, he already conquered the 168-pound division in less than 1 year. Y'all must have forgot that. But see, logic doesn't matter to you when you're looking for a reason to hate. You just want to be like, oh, he's avoiding Bivol. Did you forget the reason why he fought Bivol? Because he was trying to get a title in another weight division. He wasn't trying to get a title in a division where he had all the titles. So if Bivol comes down to 168, he has no value to Canelo. And in fact, at 168, Canelo has other fights he could have that would make him more money than fighting Bivol. How do we know this? Look at what just happened. Canelo got a 3-fight deal with PBC where he's about to make over $100 million, and Bivol is scraping the barrel looking for an opponent as we speak. Because like I told y'all before, Bivol don't really got fans. He got Canelo haters. He got people who want to watch him so they can root against Canelo.
Gee.
So they can see him beat Canelo and be happy that Canelo lost. But y'all really ain't fans of Bivol.
G.
You really just Canelo fans in reverse. You just don't realize that.
Y'all kind of right about me, but I'm not
exactly. You're not a Bivol fan. You
that's
just
what
want
I'm
to see
saying. I'm
Canelo
gonna be honest.
lose.
Like, cool. I just think he's bigger than Canelo. That's all.
I'm with you. He's just bigger than Canelo. And Canelo had the cojones to move up and weight and take on the challenge. So now everyone's like, oh, well, why won't he's ducking Bivol because he don't want to fight Bivol at 168. That's dumb. They're not understanding the point, the reason why he fought Bivol in the first place. What people should be saying is, why is Bivol trying to go down to 168 and become undisputed? So he could avoid better BF. But y'all are okay with that. See, Dimitri Bivol gets to come down to 168, fight Canelo, win all the belts in one fight, when Canelo had to fight 3 guys to get those belts, right? 3 undefeated guys, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant. He had to clean out the division to get all those belts. And then Dimitri Bivol wants to come down in one fight and make history off of Canelo's hard work when he could do it in his own weight division if he just fight better BF. But no one wants to talk about that because you hate Canelo so much. Everything's Canelo's fault. Then you got David Benavidez, who just got a big victory beating the man after Canelo already beat him. And y'all make it seem like he's some god. And Canelo's running from him. But then when you fast forward just a week later, Canelo actually ran to him. 3-fight deal. And oh, by the way, I remember hearing, oh, Canelo's scared of the black fighters. He's scared to fight slick boxers. He's scared of Charlo. And now they're talking about him fighting Charlo. And what's the first thing everybody wants to go do? Oh, well, Charlo hasn't fought in 2 years. As if Floyd Mayweather didn't sit out for like 2 years, come back and cook Juan Manuel Marquez. We've never seen good fighters take 2 years off, come back and cook someone. It's happened before. So do you mean to tell me Jamal Charlo forgot how to fight? Is that what happened? Because you see, every time Canelo gets an opponent, y'all got an excuse. It's the Floyd Mayweather effect. I've seen this with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo. Oh, Canelo was too young. Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao. Oh, Manny Pacquiao was past his prime. Although Mayweather's older than Manny Pacquiao. See, that's what happens with haters. You lose logic. It don't make any sense. So then in the midst of someone telling you the truth, y'all get mad and y'all get in your feelings. Then I see it turn into someone, oh, you wouldn't call Dimitri Bivol a punk in his face. First of all, I didn't mean he was an actual punk. I meant it was a punk move to agree to a rematch at 175 and then try to switch the terms once Canelo comes to collect on the rematch. But, oh, by the way, I call whoever a punk in their face because I'm not a punk like some people. If I felt like you was a punk, I'd call you a punk to your face. Trust me, anyone knows me knows that. But what happens when you can't argue with logic is you nitpick on little dumb stuff like that. Did you watch the internet? There are people calling all types of people stuff, looking for a reaction. Just like y'all look for a reaction when you say stuff to me, when you say stuff to Trill, when you say stuff to us. When all we're doing is just keeping it $150. You want to say people are Canelo fanboys.
All we're doing is giving our opinion.
Well, here's the thing, right?
They lose their mind.
How are we Canelo fanboys and you're not a fanboy? When the guy we're talking about is multiple weight champion. What is it, 4 weight classes? I think it's 4. Pro at 15. Champion in 4 different weight classes. Fought on pay-per-view multiple times. Beat Shane Mosley. Beat legends. Beat Miguel Cotto. Beat Callum Smith. Beat Billy Joe Saunders. Beat Caleb Plant in the same year to become undisputed. And the reason why he didn't fight David Benavidez isn't his fault. David Benavidez couldn't keep his belt. So everyone wants to blame him for David Benavidez. No one's blaming David Benavidez for Benavidez losing his belt. It's Canelo's fault that Benavidez lost his belt somehow, right? But that's how twisted you are in your mind. After cleaning out the division, Canelo has the perfect opportunity to take what we would call a tune-up fight or to take an easy touch, but instead he decides to push himself, go to 175 and take on a guy y'all were calling a cherry at the time. He got no credit for it at the time. The same way AJ wasn't getting no credit for Usyk at the time. And then later on, y'all say, oh, now he's running, now he's ducking Bivol. He wants to move up the cruiserweight to fight some guy, and y'all saying he's ducking, and y'all calling him all types of cowards. The reality is Canelo will never get credit for what he does because you have unrealistic expectations from him. He's the only person you demand fight killer after killer after killer. David Benavidez just beat Caleb Plant, not a killer, by the way, but he beat Caleb Plant, and he's talking about fighting Jaime Munguia, and none of you were mad. None of you were mad. Can you imagine if Canelo announced he was fighting Jaime Munguia next? What all of you would say. They're talking about Dimitri Bivol about to fight possibly Anthony Yarde. Well, Canelo fought the dude who beat Anthony Yarde to win the title at 175, and y'all still didn't give him no credit. Yeah. So who's the fanboy? Who's the fanboy? Y'all know shit about boxing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sit around hopping on bandwagon at the bandwagon. Well, at some point you're going to win. At some point, yeah, someone will beat Canelo. Congratulations, you hopped on the right bandwagon finally. But all I know is in 61 fights, he has 2 L's. 1 to the greatest fighter that ever laced up a pair of gloves, and 2 to someone who was, and the second loss to someone who was bigger than him and a champion in a different weight class where he was daring to be great. And y'all still act like the dude's a bum. Y'all still don't respect him in his own sport. And y'all still act like people who look at him as the best are fanboys. But your fighter's best resume is his leftovers. The wins on his leftovers. But we're the ones who crazy. I'm sorry, I'm gonna throw it to you in a second. Prior to Canelo taking the reins, I thought Floyd Mayweather was the best. Floyd had proven it time and time again by beating the best fighters. I watched everyone nitpick, but whatever, I didn't care about that. Before that, I was riding with, I like Pacquiao, I like Shane Mosley, I like Ossie De La Hoya, I like these guys. They step in the ring, they take the big fights. I'm all about that. That's why I like Anthony Joshua. Even with L's, he stepped in the ring and he's taking the big fights. I still like Usyk. Usyk's the man. I like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's the man. But we got to call it what it is. Losing to great fighters doesn't hurt you. You understand? Losing to great fighters doesn't hurt you, especially when you put on a good performance. Canelo has been in there time after time and given us what we want to see. David Benavidez has not done that. Bivol's biggest win is Canelo, and then he talked himself out of the rematch with Canelo so that he can go fight Anthony Yarde. And if Canelo was to fight Anthony Yarde and Munguia next, y'all would slaughter him because you have unrealistic expectations of him. And even still, he pushes himself to be great because that's what he demands of himself, greatness. And that's why I like Canelo. And that's why I back Canelo. For me, it has nothing to do with any of this other stuff y'all talking about. Because if it wasn't for Canelo, boxing would be dead. And that's just some real talk.
Now, you know, it's so hilarious, man, because I was kicking it with my homie from back in the days, and we was talking about growing up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, you're so crazy. I don't think that these are Canelo haters. I think deep down, they really like Canelo. Like the girls who used to hit us back in the days when we was in school, they really liked it. So they used to go and pinch us and hit us and stuff like that because they really like us. So I came to the conclusion that y'all are not Canelo haters. Y'all really like him. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
Confused admiration.
Well, let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know you rocking with. It's the Boxing Bros.